Okay, everybody, this is a presentation about co-construction, which is a term which I apply to mean where students are involved in planning their learning alongside their teacher. And I've got three specific areas, curriculum areas, where we're exploring that at KEGS. It sort of fits in with a general philosophy which you might call learning without limits, and it's this diagram here illustrates a kind of philosophy behind it, which is that basically, I think too often children are kept within a box, and co-construction is one of the ways that you can take the lid off and really challenge students at the high end, and in doing that you really allow everybody to flourish. So it's part of the whole philosophy about top-end challenge, but it doesn't just end there. It also relates to this concept, which is there's a whole thing about this on my blog, the skateboarding lessons analogy. And a key part of why skateboarding is fun is because if you see the bottom left-hand side, it's a self-directed creative task which the students have complete autonomy. And why you love skateboarding, you can do it all day long, is because nobody's telling you what to do, and you can design the task yourself. And actually, we can learn a lot from skateboarding because kids teach themselves how to skateboard by and large. They don't need us, and actually they probably don't need us for quite a lot of other things as well, and we actually get in their way. And I've got a whole skit, which I won't do now, about skateboarding lessons and how rubbish they would be if we taught skateboarding in school. So, three specific projects. They're at different stages. The Year 10 physics, actually now Year 11, I should update my slide. Year 7 RE, I've done a little bit longer. And Year 9 ICT, which is a whole project called Project 9, which is almost so co-constructed that in fact the co is almost slipping off the end because the teachers don't really have much to do with it anymore. This is physics. I talked about it. This is my own class. Now when I had started in my Year 10 GCSE class about a year or so ago, I gave them the syllabus and I said, what do you know already? And we did a session where we found out that, and then I said, okay, what should we do next? And we planned the scheme of work for the year, in fact for the whole 2 years, and we ended up with a whole list of the topics they'd like to do, in which order, and we assign teams to those topics. And each team then plans a series of lessons, they plan homeworks, they plan activities. Today, for example, we were making motors, and the students in my class they started off the lesson, they'd arranged the apparatus, they showed the famous kicking wire experiment, explained the physics of it, the left-hand rule, and then they got the class into groups to make their own motors, and we're going around helping them. I was on my iPad doing the register and looking to see, I don't know, I can't remember what I was doing, but I was there, and they were getting on with it. That was excellent. And they were having this discussion in the corner about whether to take the books in today or wait another week, set them some more homework and collect them in next week, because part of the co-construction process is that they collect the books in, they assess, they give feedback, and they give really great feedback to the whole class about general issues for learning. They can do it, and because I allow them to, they do it, and they do it really well. My daughter is in Year 10. She's just as clever as any of the boys in my class. She's never asked to do that, and so she doesn't. This is the scheme of work that a boy 3 or 4 weeks ago said, well, I was panicking, thinking, how are we going to get through the syllabus before May? And he said, don't worry. Next day, literally, all the topics that we haven't covered yet. Listen, that's a list of all the lessons we have left. And he just sliced all the topics and he said, if you follow this plan, we'll get there. He's built in revision time, tests, time to go over it, and it reminded us that he goes on CCF camp just before Easter, so he's put that in. That's the plan, literally. All the students have that in their book, and we say, we're going to follow Taryn's plan because it's good and it works, and it helps us know where we're going. It's a great system. If my class don't do as well, at least, as any other of the classes, I'd be amazed. Okay, RE. We've been doing this for a bit longer. In Year 7, all the students in Year 7 now, they plan their units on Christianity and Islam through co-construction. And the beauty of this is that there's no real syllabus. You can just decide to do what you like. So we just say, we're going to learn about Islam. What should we do? And we ask the questions. What are the key questions in Islam? What should we be learning? What do we know already, as always a standard? And then, at the end of a topic on Islam, what sort of questions should we be able to answer? Now, what should be the assessment criteria? And the teachers discuss that with their students, and then they go ahead and do it. This was a website made by some boys in Year 7, where they had to plan a lesson, so they put their material onto a blog-style website. You can see there's a tab that says online homework, so they'd set the class the homework. It's not just sort of waffle and standing up and doing PowerPoints like this. It's actually planned lessons. They plan the lessons in advance, set criteria, objectives. This is a Year 7 student wrote this lesson plan for his input into their topic. A little bit cocky. You've seen the website before. It says, from the award-winning creators of Embracing Islam. So, I think cocky is good. It's confidence and, they enjoy it. And finally, Project 9. Now, this is something which I wrote about just last week on my blog. It's an incredible process. We started this this is our 4th year now. That's all the CCF. We have cadets here, and they, you don't have to have cadets to do this, but I learned from that every Monday after school, we've got 150 guys doing various activities, and all the activities are run by students. The staff just go around making sure kind of things are happening, but all the teaching is done by students. Whether it's using a rifle in the rifle range or making a tent. So I thought, well, we don't do much IT at Kegs. Yeah, so I thought, well, if the students can teach camping and rifles, they can certainly teach IT. So we set up this project, and essentially what happens now is we have a series of teams. This is what they are. We ask the students what they'd like to learn. We ask the students what they could teach. We match them up. A team of students actually appoints the tutors, so we recruit students from Year 10 and above to teach it. They then decide what they'd like to offer, and then we match them up. This was last week, Project 9 in action. This is programming Android apps using JavaScript, which is all being taught from student to student. And there was about 8 or 9 different other projects going on. Okay, so I won't go into this. There's some other things that you can do. I was going to talk about how you actually build it up from the scratch, but I've run out of time to do that. Essentially, another analogy is about the ripstick. If you're on a ripstick and you think you're going to fail, you do. But if you push off hard and you have a go, sure enough, things get going and you finally learn how to do it. That's what co-construction is like. I wanted to see what happened if you went on too long.